I went and watched Mark Bell's. I watched like 4 reels. Well, I've watched multiple of them, but I went and watched 4 just a minute ago, just to make sure I completely understand exactly what this thing is. It's interesting. So you haven't heard of it, the sugar fast?
No, I've heard of it. I've given it zero attention.
Right.
So I know nothing about it. I know that, but I don't know anything. I know that Mark Bell is doing a sugar fast and he's staying really lean. And
I might give it a shot just for fun.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I might not.
Well, you might actually once you see the results I get.
Bet.
Well, I wanted to chat GPT it. So this is what it says. The sugar diet is a cyclical eating strategy in which one fasts on sugar and carbohydrate heavy, very low fat days, followed by refeed days with more protein and fat. During the sugar phase, dietary fat is minimized to 20 grams to 30 grams or lower. Protein is moderate, about 100 grams a day, and the remaining calories come almost entirely from simple carbohydrates, fruit juices, honey, even candy or jams in some versions. The idea is that without dietary fat, ingested carbohydrates are immediately shuttled into the cells via insulin, raising metabolic rate and energy levels while promoting fat loss from stored body fat. After several sugar days, a refeed day includes lean protein, vegetables, and the fats omitted previously, aiming to restore essential fatty acids, micronutrients, and hormonal balance. So that is kind of the basis of the sugar diet, which kind of seems counterintuitive to me based off of the insulin. I guess I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around, doesn't insulin usually shut off fat burning?
Yes, I guess if you're triggering in pancreatic response to release insulin because of all the sugars in your system, the circulatory sugars, then yeah, you'd think so.
Does it make sense that it would kick up your metabolism because you're eating so many carbohydrates?
I mean, like sugars, you can kick up like leptin levels, hormone that is known to burn fat. I don't know. I mean, I'll just say I don't know. There's a lot of these restrictive diets. They work. Okay, right. The carnivore diet. You cut out carbohydrates, and I'm not seeing any diets so far. School me if there is one that cuts out protein. It's kind of one thing to say, like if you cut out one of the energies, either being fat or carbohydrates, you restrict one or the other, you lose weight. A lot of times, or like the intermittent fasting diet, and that's supposed to bump up your metabolism. But it restricts when you can eat, so people tend to eat less calories and make better choices when they are eating.
Right.
There's been carb backloading was really popular, where you don't eat any carbs throughout the day, and then you eat a fuck ton of carbs at night, and it all works, I guess. For me personally, like I just eat a pretty balanced, healthy diet that's really consistent in protein. I think most people, if they could eat if they do or can control their eating in moderation, will have really good success with that. I think Mark Bell's unbelievably successful in the diet and nutrition space. So doing this, I don't know, kind of gimmicky, but it works. But I think it's more like proving. Like he likes to experiment. He likes trying different things. So it's kind of proof that this could work. I don't know that it's the best diet, but for people who like that, they like a gimmick. What's the new thing? Like they do carnivore, they do Atkins, they follow whatever the trend is, and they have success with it. They move on to the next thing. I think this could work. Long term, like sustainability, I do question.
Right, it's always about sustainability.
Right,
in my mind.
Like so, does it work? Does he get lean? Does he get shredded? Yes. Sustainability. Is someone going to continue to fast on candy and fruit and that? Maybe like people do the carnivore diet and seem to be happy for a long time. I like variety. I want to eat stuff, and I think just to each their own. Again, for me, I calorically eat in moderation most of the time, to maintain, and I eat a large variety of foods without having to restrict. That's what any of these diets are. They restrict. While he's eating sugars, he's restricting. He's doing no fat.
Right.
So you have to be really on your game, making good choices, and knowing what you're putting in your body. I guess knowing what you're putting in your body would be true for any diet, but the sustainability is what I would call into question, unless someone like Mark who's super focused and into it, trying to get results from that diet.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of his thing, is trying out new stuff. So he seems to be like all in on it, and he's very hyped up about it. He's done all the different diets, and this one he seems to just be like really excited about.
I think this one for a lot of people, and the reason it's gained a lot of popularity is because there's a lot of blowback, because traditionally low carb diets have become very popular.
Yep.
And it's really easy. I mean, if I had 2 minutes to someone how to lose weight or how to lose weight, like you just cut out, cut your carbs in half,
Yeah.
But it's not because, I mean, if you eat copious amounts of fats, you're going to get fat.
Right.
You're going to get fat.
Yep.
Because too many calories is what makes you fat. It's unique where the low carb is typically what most people lean to and helps them, because people most of the time don't have an issue with eating a ton of too many healthy fats or too much protein.
Right.
They fucking eat too many processed carbs, period.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that's stuff out of a box and shit. So
the chips, all that stuff.
Liquid calories,
yeah.
like the liquid. You're not getting too many liquid calories from fat.
Right.
You're not getting too many liquid calories from protein. Liquid calories are what? They're carbohydrates.
Yep.
So when you say like, hey, let's cut your carbs, let's go Atkins, let's do carnivore, they lose weight because they're just eating less calories.
Right.
They may be eating as often. They may be eating intuitively like what they want. This, gosh, I lost weight. All I did was cut carbs. You did, but you cut your calories.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I wonder how people's like satiation is on it, because it seems like you'd be hungry all the time.
I don't. Yeah, that's
so he eats protein at night. He says lean meat and then vegetables and then maybe a protein shake. So I would be surprised. It depends, I guess, on the chunk of meat that he's eating, how big it is and how much. But you get 100 grams in basically one sitting would be tough.
And who's it for? I mean, just for the general lay person, like.
I mean, he's talking about this could change the game for anybody trying
really?
to lose weight. Yeah, because he thinks you're going to get really quick results from
Again,
it.
if you adhere to it,
Right.
that's if you'd adhere to eating less calories, then you're.
I think the intriguing part is people hear candy and sugar and
sugar
stuff, which
and
he says
smoothies
eat candy, yeah, but I would go more towards the fruit juice route. Than,
What about? I mean, is there any like with oral hygiene, like the sugar, like copious amounts of sugar
Right.
really promote like bacteria in your. I mean, you can have good oral hygiene still,
Right.
but that's really what ends up being causing plaque buildup and fucking bad breath because the sugar
Right.
bacteria.
And you don't always want insulin spikes, right? Like, isn't a consistent insulin spike not good?
Well,
for
you can
like
become
your,
insulin resistant,
Sure.
but I'm sure that's taken into account. I don't know about this.
You're
I'm
also
sure
talking about eating in a caloric surplus, constantly eating mostly sugar. So I'm sure, obviously, the point is.
I'd have to. Yeah, we talked about this just very briefly before we came down to do the podcast. So I'd have to look, to give a really good. This is my quote expert opinion. I have to really give
I kind of want to try
insight to it.
I'll try. Yeah. I think I'll try it it says like try it for 3 days and just see.
Oh, really?
I mean, you could come up with tons of stuff to eat and drink out of it. I would do a lot of smoothies and stuff.
Got some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll give
you
it.
need any help, you let me know.
Yeah.
You're not doing the whole diet. If you can help eating that, you're gonna eat that candy.
I'm just gonna go get some nerd clusters and just eat that for breakfast,
You're
lunch,
just
and
calling it
dinner.
the sugar diet. Right?
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of a difference between the sugar fast and the sugar diet, but I didn't really dive.
Oh, there's an actual sugar diet.
Well, I don't
That's
think
my
there's
6-year-old
much.
like to be on.
Yeah, seriously. I kind of want to give it a shot because I do like smoothies and all that stuff. So have some steak at night.
Have either one of you done like a keto or something for an extended period of time? Something like that? that's
I've
like,
never tried anything.
So I've done keto for a while. I've done not for. I've made it over a week before.
Did you test your?
Nope.
No?
Ketones. No. I'm trying to think of something like a diet. Other than just eating like a healthy, I've definitely gotten more strict at times. Like, hey, I have this coming up and I want to diet for. I've definitely done that, but it's really been manipulating my diet. But I've never, I very rarely, I should say, am completely cutting out fats. Like I've done more like what works. Like I do pretty well on higher carbs.
Yep.
So sometimes I'll really limit my or I'll go for it, like eating carbs all day long when I'm active, and and then I'll work out. Maybe after my workout, I'll have carbs, maybe like cluster dextrin and stuff like that after with a shake. And then in the evening, I'll do, if I'm doing steak or like a fattier piece of meat than chicken or fish, I might do steak, salad with olive oil and some avocado. And it's not because I think that, well, now I'm going to stop burn. I mean, you're fueled by yesterday's carbohydrates, not today.
Right.
So it's not that I think I'm cutting those out. It's just while I'm active and want my blood sugars up because I'm going to be asking my body to do performance things. I want circulating blood sugars. Then at night I'll just kind of switch that energy source from carbohydrates to fat. So I'm still getting healthy fats and stuff. Not necessarily not like a carb backload. So we have these carbs at night. You're going to burn those. Then during the day, you wake up, your body's in fat burning mode, and you stay in that because you're not taking in any carbohydrates that we were talking about with insulin. No insulin response because I don't have any. But other than that, like they just kind of timing. That's more nutrient timing than a diet.
Right. Yeah. I think I'm not skeptical or it's worrisome to try a diet like that. Is how is it going to affect your training? Mm-hmm. And I think of it from the perspective of not getting enough protein. Is it going to affect your muscle mass? In one of the videos I watched,
so there's no protein during the day.
Very limited. So it says mostly sugars throughout the day, and then at night you can have protein. But it says 100 grams a day. So I don't know if it would matter. Like if you're making a smoothie or something, you throw in a scoop of protein and you have 4 smoothies by the end of the day.
Yeah, because what the downside would be.
Yeah. But in the same regards to like your body is going to switch to burning fat because you're not intaking any and your body's so busy utilizing the sugar and taking it to your cells. He mentioned something that your body's not going to kick over to breaking down muscle for any type of glucose because that's all you're consuming.
I wouldn't think it'd be very good like for mostly sedentary people.
Right.
You'd have to be using that.
Right.
But
I guess there's only one way. Just try it and see. Who doesn't like a bunch of sugar? So
the only way to do it is to have you report back.
Yeah. Okay. Give it a shot. I'm going to try it on Monday. Let me get through this week. Okay. So, but yeah, I wonder how it affect your strength and all that stuff.
I bet your training, you'd feel pretty damn good.
You would think.
Yeah.
Well, because in the mornings I always drink glyco feed before I go work out. So
yeah,
just add that
on the days like if I want to get up, I always have a big breakfast. It's usually my biggest meal, but it's by far my biggest meal of the day. So like but I usually work my cardio type work, functional stuff. Yeah, I mean, I have EAAs, and sometimes I'll drink bone broth and stuff. I don't think the fasting makes a shit of difference in terms of fat burning. It's calories.
Right.
So I'll usually get up, have some bone broth, make a big drink with like electrolytes and aminos and stuff. And I go, especially now when it's hot out, go outside and do my morning functional movement cardio, and then go in and eat a big breakfast and head to work. On mornings, like say on weekends, where I want to get up, go lift, and then get back and have breakfast, I'll do like protein cereal. Like not like protein as my, not protein cereal like the.
You mix protein in the milk,
protein
dump it on the cereal.
In the milk, dump it in the cereal. So it's quick carbohydrates, sometimes cream of rice and grinds with protein on it. So I have protein and carbohydrates in my system. But I'm not full. I'm not stuffed. I don't like working out on a full stomach. So bang, I hit the gym, come back, and then have my breakfast and go on with what we're going to do during the day. That's the fastest way for me to get a workout in on the weekends if I want to lift first thing in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm Kylie's going like, hey, I thought you were going to the gym when I need an hour before I can't. This is sitting on my stomach. I can't do it. So yeah.
What cereal do you use?
If I'm like. Usually rice and grinds, but if I'm doing a cereal, I do like a simple try to do like a rice cereal.
Oh, I would do Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
What is Cinnamon Toast? Is it corn? I bet it's corn.
Probably.
Yeah.
All that stuff is, I would assume. Yeah. It's real French toast. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They just shrink it down. Luke, what do you got? You got any questions for us?
Well, I just wanted to ask, it feels like as a industry and society, we're kind of getting away from those like diets. Do you guys see that too? I feel like I remember my grandma doing like Jenny Craig, all those, you know what I mean?
Corporate diets.
Yeah.
Corporate diets, I don't see as much, but I think like carnivore has never been more popular.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But I don't think it's because that's the only thing that works. I think it's really easy for people, and no knock, like it's really easy. Like if you just limit yourself to animal products, and it's you're eating mostly beef. I think on carnivore, I'm sure you can have fish and chicken and stuff. They're going to be less nutrient dense. So if you're not getting greens and fruits and stuff that have antioxidants and vitamins, then you kind of need to lean towards red meat and eggs, of course.
Yep.
But when you're doing that, like you're not going to eat as much. You're going to be more satiated because you have a higher protein intake, something that very few people have.
Right.
Eating just on their own or intuitively. Most people eat way under eat protein. So here come your metabolism is going up because here you just crank up your amino acid, your nitrogen content, your protein content. You're inevitably getting healthy fats with the eggs and fish and stuff you're eating. And you're not eating carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Like surprise, you're losing weight.
Right.
Which is great. You essentially, if you're doing carnivore, you fucking cut out all the processed food you're eating.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, like with the carnivore diet and stuff, I feel like that would really affect your training. I mean, there are a few like performance type athletes out there that have done carnivore, and I couldn't name any.
I've heard of some like endurance people doing it,
Right.
Like rowers and
Yeah.
Do they? Because I know people will eat like fruit sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like carnivore plus some fruit.
Yeah.
right.
When I did carnivore, I did do like bananas and stuff around my workout.
Around
I do
your
fruit
work,
around
yeah.
my workout. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would say the sugar diet maybe of all the crazy fad ones we've seen, maybe that one's maybe better for not better for training, but it's not going to affect your training
maybe
as
better for
much.
performance.
I just be curious, what's your recovery like, especially if you're strength training? You can't do this diet and plan to get big.
I've noticed. I'd be curious what you said. Like I've noticed if I really fucking binge, like let's say I usually let loose a little on the weekends. If I really binge on Saturday, say, I can have a great workout on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm just full of carbohydrates, usually sodium and all that stuff is high. But it's not true for 2 days in a row.
No.
I'm very sluggish if I do more than that, go on vacation or something, coming
Yep.
back. If I've been eating shitty, then performance seems to suffer.
Yeah, the only time binge eating I feel like has benefited me was when I was doing CrossFit and amazing shape and all that stuff, super low body fat. I could binge and like the next day
You feel good.
You feel awesome.
Yeah. But same holds true for like if I want to feel like really, if I've been eating really lean, I am eating very low carb and I feel like I'm in the gym, like I can tell if I'm not getting a very good pump, I just don't feel like that fullness. One fast food meal.
Yep.
And the next workout, I feel full, hard, veiny, but it never works twice.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think doing that, I'm the king of binge eating.
Completely anecdotal, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I might feel a good pump, but I also feel like my stomach's blown up.
Well, you
it's
gotta think-
it's more like I'm sure some of it's just in your head. But
Right.
I feel like oh god, you're like working out and you're burping and stuff.
Well, I just feel like if you do it consistently, like the systemic inflammation just makes you feel crappy. Your stomach's just blown up, all that stuff. So I can't imagine. Well, obviously nobody feels good after binge eating multiple days in a row.
The other thing, if you want to get in, this is different from the sugar diet when you talk about fads. All the stuff I see on like seed oils and stuff, are
Right.
they bad? Are they? I think maybe the best way to break it down for people is when you're talking seed oils, you're talking higher linoleic or omega 6s. And we've talked about this before the seed oils thing was even a big deal. We've talked about the balance between omega 3s and omega 6s.
Right.
And you do need omega 6s, which are these seed oils. They're just heavily abundant in our diet.
Right.
So it's not that in and of themselves omega 6s or seed oils are bad. It's the over ratio, I guess, the higher ratio of omega. I think don't quote me on the numbers. It's supposed to be like a 3-to-1 omega 6 to omega 3.
Yep.
But in the American diet, the typical American diet, it's like 9-to-1.
Right.
It's just so that's where you get inflammation. It's
Right.
from an imbalance. But you can't put the blame necessarily on seed oils.
Right.
It's the seed oils are predominantly omega 6s, and that's where it comes from. Because I think there's a lot of back and forth. But you kind of like, I'm sure there's industry money and everything. And we kind of like, wait a minute, it's not. You're talking about omega 6s. It doesn't. The seed and the process isn't necessarily important. What the oil is, not necessarily where it comes from, but what its makeup is what's causing the inflammation, that ratio.
Right. Well, that's like in the Maha movement, all that stuff. That's one of the things is don't do seed oils, all that
It's
stuff.
finding a culprit, but
Right.
that culprit doesn't
But they'll
necessarily
point
the
to
cause.
they'll point to like, oh, these were lubricants for like engines and all that. So why would we consume them? Which, I mean, on the face of that, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, but baby oil was used for babies, and now it's to blame for P. Diddy parties. And there's nothing wrong.
There's
with
no
baby
connection.
oil.
Yeah. Back to your question, Luke. The diets and all that stuff. Yeah, the corporate ones have definitely died down, but
He's still thinking about baby oil.
Yeah.
He's got that goofy look on his face.
the like the stuff like carnivore and those diets, I think they're probably, like Brian said, as hot as ever. But I think because we're in the industry, we see it more than other people do that maybe are outside. But I also just, whenever I hear the carnivore diet or any kind of fad diet from whoever, if it's like Gary Brecker or someone else, I don't really listen to it just because I know there's two sides to every story and people are probably, they have their own take on it.
Yeah,
so, but this one's more intriguing to me for some reason.
Are you intrigued by the Gary Brecka and Lane Norton back and forth? I am.
enjoy it.
And I'm on Lane's side, mostly because I feel like Gary Brecka dresses like Bon Jovi, and I think that's humorous. Yeah, I don't trust him as much.
Yeah, well, it's like he always has something to sell on top of it too. So, didn't he get you on the red light stuff? Not that there's not anything. It's not to say that what Gary Brecker, some of the stuff he says isn't true.
So I don't think I did. I don't.
Wasn't he the one who started that?
Did he? I don't know that I heard it from him, but I do the red light. I haven't done it in a minute. I need to get back.
Isn't your sauna a red light?
No.
You have a completely different one.
The one you have is
it's
not red light, but it's infrared.
Infrared, yeah.
The one I have is a traditional sauna. But guys, I haven't done the sauna for a minute. I need to. Actually, yeah, no, I got lazy a bit because I still work out at 6:30, but I'm not getting up at 5:30.
Yeah.
I've been setting my alarm at 6:05, hitting snooze, and then getting up and walking right out to work because I need to get back to it. I haven't
Cold plunging at all still?
No,
not
I mean, like it's been a few weeks. Is what it's been. Yeah. It's not completely. I told Kylie I need to. What's funny is my cold plunge is it's set at 33, so I need to. I'm probably going to back it down the 40s before I jump back in. Yeah.
40's cold enough.
Yeah. But if the studies are, I think it's below 60. It really was one like, how much do I really have to fucking suffer? Because I don't need the mental. I'm good.
Yeah.
If there's like anti-inflammatory benefits below 60, would 58 be okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever the number is.
58 would feel
I'm going to
cold.
look that up and set the temperature appropriately for the least amount of pain I have to endure to get the benefit.
Good idea.
Yeah, he can sit in there with me.
It's plenty of room. Luke, you could probably even get in.
We should podcast there next time.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It'd be a short one, but
Yeah. It's a 5-minute
when you get out.
podcast. That's how we should make our
It was
clips.
cold. It was cold.
Think how fast we'd warm that up with our body temperatures in there.
Whew.
Get it up to 60.
Tyler,
Yeah.
chill out.
Is that it? You got any more
Well, I
questions
just wanted
for
to
us?
ask, make sure that I'm the TikTok advocate, so when I watch TikToks, and I just wanted to ask both of you if you wash your chicken before you eat it. This is a big thing on TikTok. It's pretty split. There's a big faction of people out there that.
Why do they say wash it? To get rid of the bacteria?
Apparently. Like some people are literally washing it with Dawn dish soap before they cook it.
No. But also about how much bacteria. I mean, we use a slow cooker and cook it overnight. I don't know how much bacteria.
Are people eating their chicken at 125 degrees like a steak?
Yeah.
I mean, when you cook something to 165 degrees, it's getting any bacteria, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
Thank God.
But I see the same thing. I see people eating raw meat. I'm like, fucking fire was invented for a reason. Cook that shit. I see people just trying to get clicks, like eating all the raw liver and stuff. Like, what are you doing?
Trying to get attention. Yeah.
I guess.
All good on that.
I do stuff for attention. That's okay. I try.
Right. Try. All right. Well, let's wrap it up, and then I'll start the sugar fast next week.
Yeah, you're going to have to let us know.
Sugar fast, report back.
Yep.
Yeah. Later.